Alright, the legal description of land. Hello. Welcome to Rowlett Real Estate School's Student Resources. I'm Captain Wayne Rowlett. In this first video of our legal description series, we will introduce you to the purpose and evolution of the metes and bounds legal descriptions of real property. Unless property can be located and accurately defined, it cannot be conveyed. For many students, the legal description of land is difficult to understand. Rowlett Real Estate School has developed an easy-to-understand visual presentation series that will show the step-to-step construction of the legal description. So let's get started. This chapter covers various methods used to locate and describe boundaries of real property, how to determine and describe the exact locations, size, and shape of the property to be conveyed. Legal descriptions are used to describe property in a way that uniquely identifies it from any other parcel. A legal description is so specific that given only the legal description, a surveyor can locate and identify a given parcel. Before land could be conveyed, it had to be surveyed to establish the parcel's boundaries and to create a legal description. A survey is a drawing of a parcel showing its boundary lines and includes the legal description of the property. There are 5 additional purposes of surveying property and developing legal descriptions for each parcel. Current and accurate boundary information required to write the legal description is obtained. The exact quantity of the area within the described tract is established. Boundaries that may have become lost or obliterated are reestablished. Data required to divide a large tract into smaller units for development and sale are obtained. Identify and describe any encroachments, if any. The first private land ownership began when the government conveyed land to private individuals. When settlers wanted to purchase land, they would apply for a patent and hire a surveyor to create the legal description. The metes and bounds method was used. A patent is a certificate issued by the federal or state government that transfers land to private individuals. Legal description is a series of boundary lines on the Earth's surface to identify the boundary of a parcel of land. Following the Revolutionary War, the new federal government became the owners of all the land. The government wanted an efficient way to survey all of the newly acquired land and chose the government survey system, which was based on a large grid of parallel lines. There are 3 types of legal descriptions: metes and bounds, government survey system, and the lot and block description. The metes and bounds description is the oldest and most accurate method of land description and is used for both regular and irregular shaped parcels. Metes refers to distance and bounds refers to direction. Metes and bounds description begins at an exact starting point called the point of beginning, or you'll see on a map, POB. When starting at a point of beginning, the first boundary is determined from the legal description that indicates the direction and the distance to the first corner of the parcel, followed by another direction and distance to the second corner, and so on. The point of beginning must be accurate, otherwise the entire description is in error. The surveyor identifies each corner of the parcel with a visible marker called a monument. Monument is a fixed object used to identify the point of beginning and the corners of the parcel. A compass has 4 primary directions: north, south, east, and west. If we draw a straight line connecting north and south and a second line connecting east and west, the circle is divided into 4 quarters. The compass bounds description always begins with a north or a south, followed by a certain number of degrees up to a maximum of 90 degrees. The first direction is the primary reference direction and is always north or south. Due north and due south are both 0 degrees. The red line running north and south is called the primary reference line. The number of degrees cannot exceed 90 because one would pass the point midway between north and south and begin moving toward the other primary reference direction. The direction that follows the number of degrees indicates whether the direction is east or west of due north or due south. Notice that the opposite of south 45 degrees west is north 45 degrees east. The number of degrees does not change, only the compass directions. Notice that the opposite of south 85 degrees west, the opposite of south is north, the opposite of west is east. Therefore, the opposite of south 85 degrees west is north 85 degrees east. And we have a practice problem. What is the opposite of north 45 degrees west? South 45 degrees east. The direction opposite of south 15 degrees west in a meets and bounds description is, and I'll give you a moment to think about that. It is north 15 degrees east. The intent of the government survey system was to create a large grid with every square of the grid uniquely identified. And here we have a portion of the rectangular survey system. On the right hand side you'll see that it's a breakdown of a township into sections, and then on the left hand side they're actually showing you a check, which we'll cover later in our series. The government survey system is based on north and south, east and west intersecting lines, and is especially adapted to describing land in concise symbols and words. The grid system is used in Florida and most of the United States except for 13 states. Florida's principal meridian is a north-south line that runs through a monument located in the city of Tallahassee. In fact, it runs parallel with the Meridian Street, which runs right past the state capital of Florida. Florida's baseline runs east and west through that same monument. Well, we have come to the end of the first section of our video series. Please join me in the next video where we have an animated government survey system, ranges and township tiers you don't want to miss.